And what is up, everyone on YouTube? This is Mark Gaming coming at you with another tropical update for potential tropical cyclone number 9. Still is a potential tropical cyclone. The storm is gathering in organization, but it's still not enough to fully call itself a tropical depression or tropical storm as of yet. I'm gonna pull up a satellite image and it is not working. Well, that is unfortunate. Well, anyway, so this morning and this afternoon, Recon has been investigating the storm and they found that the storm had a broad circulation, so it's not well defined. And on the west side, it's still having light winds on the west side. I mean, you can see it from the Recon perspective. They did notice that the winds were increasing on the side with the convection on it. So, what could happen is the center could try to reform within the convection itself. That's possible. But right now, the center has not fully formed. Because of that, it is still considered a potential tropical cyclone at this current time. That being said, National Hurricane Center has gone ahead and issued tropical storm force warnings for Cuba and tropical storm force warnings for Cancun, as well as hurricane watches for western Cuba and the eastern tip of Cancun. The current projection is that the tropical storm is that the future tropical storm Helene, whatever. Anyway, it's going to track through the Yucatan Peninsula and into the Gulf, where it will strengthen into a hurricane and potentially a major hurricane as it treks toward what looks like the Panhandle and Big Bend of Florida. But again, I want to stress what I said is the same as what I said yesterday. The hurricane is forecast to increase in size. Therefore, impacts will be felt as far east as the Keys when the hurricane is coming through the Gulf. And because of that, the Keys are now under a tropical storm force watch. I will assume that some western counties will probably be added within the next day or so, as far as tropical storm watches, and potentially hurricane watches as well within the next coming days. But I'm going to say what I said last night. This is the time to prepare and to plan. Don't wait until the night before to have a plan, because all the models are projecting a potentially very dangerous situation. Let's go ahead and look at some of the models, because we did that last night. The first model we're going to look at is the GFS model. Let's see where it's got going. There's GFS. It's got it going through the Yucatan Peninsula. Going north. So about 965 millibars. If this verifies, we're probably looking at a Cat 2 or Cat 3. But again, it's close enough to the western Florida, west part of Florida. So Tampa, tropical storm force winds, a lot of rainy conditions, and then hurricane force winds will make its way up into the Big Bend area, and possibly tropical storm force winds could even impact Destin and Panama City as well. That's the GFS model, if it verifies. Now let's look at some other models. The HWRF model, which does not have a runtime yet. So let's see what we got here. And the HW, oh, okay, I clicked on the wrong model. Huh! Wow, look at me. All right, let's try that again. Gathering strength. Now, this is one of the most aggressive models, so take this with a grain of salt. 934 millibars. That's a Cat 3 or Cat 4. Again, looking like possibly around the Big Bend area. As you can see, rain extending all the way back towards Pensacola. So this would be the area of concern, Apalachee and the Big Bend, according to the HWRF model. Let's look at the Helene model now. 934 and a little closer to Tampa Bay on this model. But this one has it coming on short. 936 936, 934, and a lot of heavy rain. Hurricane force winds definitely possible. Let's look at that actually. Yeah, definitely hurricane force winds possible. And again, tropical storm force winds. I can't even rule out a hurricane force gust in the Tampa Bay area because this storm is going to get bigger as it heads towards Florida, which also could spread the damaging wind potential as far north as South and Central Georgia and perhaps even North Georgia. So this is going to spread for way more impacts than the last storm did. As you can see here, the HAFSA model, 962 millibars, coming on shore and then weakening. That one's a little more choppy, I think, with it, but yeah. Let's look at the European model. Let's see what we got here with this one. European is not very aggressive with this, so I'm going to take that one with a grain of salt. I'm not going to trust that model simply because the Gulf of Mexico, and that's what's going to make this situation dangerous. The Gulf of Mexico is extremely moist and it is extremely warm for this time of the year. So that's going to make this situation really dangerous in terms of the tropical storm Helene or Hurricane Helene, whatever it is, when it gets into the Gulf. That's going to make this very dangerous. We saw what happened with Katrina when it came into the Gulf of Mexico and went towards New Orleans. It took 24 hours for it to went from a minimal hurricane to a Cat 5 hurricane. I'm not saying we're going to see the same result, but this could be one of those cases where it could happen. The bottom line is this. If you live in the state of Florida, South Georgia, Southeast Georgia, now's the time to plan. Don't wait until it becomes too late to plan. Now is the time to plan and have your preparation plans in place for when evacuations are put into effect. Again, I strongly stress, pay attention to this storm and pay attention to all aspects of the storm and be on your guard. We are looking at a landfall sometime in between Thursday and Thursday night, evening at this point. So, again, for the Florida Bend, Big Florida Bend, Apalachee, Tampa Bay, that's looking to be the most likelihood of where this is going to make landfall. So be on your guard if you're in the state of Florida and South Georgia. Until then, Mark Gaiman signing off, and the next update will be tomorrow morning about 10 or 11 o'clock a.m.